Hello everybody, and today I'm going to show you how you can submit your assignments on CodeGrade through Canvas, as well as common mistakes that happen along the procedure so that you can avoid getting marked down for no reason. Well, let's get right into it then. You will find that often when you're given an assignment, you will also be given the name to call your project, the name to call your functions, and also even an exact output that your function must produce. In this case, for instance, on assignment 1, first exercise, you're told to create a file with this name and to then implement a function with this signature, and which needs to output or print this specific message. Now there is a reason why we do this, and it's because the system CodeGrade will not be able to identify your function if it has a different name, or import your file if it isn't called the same as the instructions give you, and also inspect your output to see if the function is valid or not. Now, if there are two spaces instead of one, CodeGrade will unfortunately mark it as wrong, so be careful when when looking over the instructions. In this specific example, the exercise is asking us to create a file with this name and a function with this signature and output this message. So we can do that easily in whatever our editor is, and we can create a new file with the name specified. We can then open it and code the function with the name that was given to us to print the message as instructed. Now, after doing something like this, we can save our document and go on the corresponding Canvas page of the assignment and upload it on CodeGrade. I'll show you how. So you finished your first exercise or your second, your third, and you're wondering, okay, I want CodeGrade to see if what I'm doing is correct or not. I want to know what your grade would be. So in this case, you have to go to the assignment page on Canvas of your assignment, of your specific assignment, the one where you got your questions from, and scroll down to the bottom where you will see a frame with the CodeGrade system in it. And since it's a tiny frame, I suggest you click on New tab to enlarge it. You will also then find yourself in a window similar to this one that I'm looking at, with three options: to check out the rubric for your assignment, which is always useful to do to understand what you need to pass, and to upload files, which is what we're looking for when you have a new submission to make, or to check your latest submission if you have one. Now, when we go to upload files, you can see that it will tell us what files are allowed and what files aren't. In this case, by default, every file is denied except for 3 files, which are nominated here. And the one we want to submit is called python entry.py, which means it's perfectly safe to send. And to do that, we will click on open and submit. Now when we click submit, we can see that the auto test tab opens automatically, and it will grade all of our assignment exercises, which means if we didn't get to an exercise yet, it will obviously mark it as failed. In our case, where we only got to the very first exercise, every other exercise is marked as failed. These are just checkpoints with no weighting. So you can then click on the tests to understand why it's wrong or correct. In our case, it's correct because the expected output matches the actual output. And we can see why the second one is incorrect is because there is no actual output produced since we actually haven't made the function yet. If, for instance, I was about to change the name of my function from Hello World Python to add, well, anything, but in my case an underscore, then CodeGrade would not like it. It would mark my exercise as failed in my case, and when I click on it, it will add a tab called Errors, where it will tell you what the actual problem was. And in our case was that it couldn't find an attribute called Hello World Python. It thinks it's an attribute since it didn't find anything with this name. Now you know when reading something like this that it has something to do with your function name, so that if there is any misspelling or anything unwanted, then you will know from here basically, and you will know to change it back to Hello World Python. If the output doesn't match, it will tell you that there is a difference between them, like so, where we can see that the expected output is different from the actual output because I purposely misspelled Python with an I. On the bottom of the screen here, you will see the rubric, and if you don't see it, you can toggle it with this button. The rubric will have a short description on the top, which you can scroll through just to let you know how many points you will need for the minimum required and how many points each exercise is worth, as well as the total amount of points. Now it will also tell you your score, and if you get everything correct, it will be 64 out of 64 in this case, which will be well above a pass. In order to upload multiple files on CodeGrade, you can do it just like a single file, just like you would with a single file, as in instead of selecting just the one, you can select all of the ones you want to upload, like this, singularly. CodeGrade will select all of them, and you'll be able to press submit normally. Now, another way you could do this, if you have them all in a folder, is to drag the folder with all of your files, even your scrap ones, and drag it on inside CodeGrade. CodeGrade will add every file inside the folder, and you're able to press submit straight away. It will know that there are files which are not allowed, and you can press delete disallowed files and hand in order to automatically get the files deleted by CodeGrade so that it can receive entry, intermediate, and target as instructed. Once you do this, everything goes as planned once again. And the third way of doing this is to upload a zip folder with all of your files inside in the same exact way as a normal folder, except this time you won't see all your files displayed here, but it will display them over here. You click the same button and the same will happen, except they will be extracted automatically. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope the video helped.